And good afternoon, everyone. This is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor. My name is Jim, and this is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network. This is a directed network, and I am net control. If at any time during this net should an emergency arise, please notify net control, and we'll stand by and allow those in need to access this frequency. Is there any priority or emergency traffic at this time? And hearing nothing, we will continue. This net is all about ham radio and being all that you can be. That's what our Qso-Vlog network is all about, trying to help people achieve the best sounding station possible. Thanks for dropping by. FYI, my background is 50 years in commercial broadcasting, where a lot of big bucks are spent on audio processing equipment and getting it set up correctly to get the best sounding station possible. Well, long story short, when I became a ham radio operator, I could hear immediately a large discrepancy in on-air technical proficiency. A lot of stations were running with very poor mic equalization, very muddy, with little articulation. And as I continued to work stations, I realized most of the stations were also running very low average peak modulation, many around 30% of average peak modulation. So with my background, I felt I could help, or at least try. I knew that most modern-day ham transceivers did have enough onboard processing equipment to be able to overcome most all of the problems. So it would be just a matter of developing a generic dynamic range setup procedure and then adjusting the onboard EQ gear. And so I started the Qso-Vlog network with the phrase, if you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout. And today we're currently featuring over 2,700 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings. And you can access these recordings by going to YouTube and doing a call letter search for KC9VKV followed by the word logbook. That's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor followed by the word logbook. And we also have a newer series called KC9VKV Highlights. That's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor followed by the word highlights on a YouTube search. These are some of our less technical and more human nature philosophical kinds of QSOs. That's KC9VKV followed by the word highlights on a YouTube search. Both KC9VKV Highlights and KC9VKV Logbook are segments of our main YouTube homepage of Jim's Radio Story, where we celebrate a 50-year career in commercial broadcasting, a 50-year journey from a 5-watt pirate radio station as a 12-year-old to production director of a major 50,000-watt AM broadcast facility. And the thing that makes this truly a unique story is that I have all the actual masters from all along the way. Over 2,600 shows, including many full-length major music concerts and radio documentaries. You'll have to check it out and subscribe. Jim's Radio Story on a YouTube search. Our mission statement for the Qso-Vlog network is to establish a higher technical level of radio transmissions of the human voice by the intelligent utilization of available electronics in current amateur radio transceivers. Our setup, while generic in nature, converts the average 10 dB dynamic range transmitter with an average 30% of peak modulation to a much fuller 3 dB dynamic range with an average 80 to 85% of peak modulation. This substantial boost in audio transmit level is extremely beneficial in high noise levels and heavy QRM. It allows you to punch through when others fail. The second part of our transmitter setup has to do with proper mic equalization. We're looking to optimize the transmitted voice for a higher degree of intelligibility through the use of EQ patterns that bring out the articulation aspects of the human voice. Again, why need to hear the voice if you can't understand the words? Also this afternoon on the receive side, we're running 5 Internet SDR receivers, monitoring New York, Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Virginia specifically, and in addition, we're running our new number 5 Hocus Pocus Internet SDR receiver loaded with 50 additional pre-programmed Internet SDR locations spread out over 20 states across the eastern half of the United States, trying to get the best copy from our 100-watt friends. Now the audio from these 5 SDR receivers comes up on a 6-position rotary selector. Also on this selector is a local receiver audio. And today our local receiver is running 3 large 10-foot vertical magnetic loop antennas. One aimed at 0 degrees, one aimed at 90 degrees, and the number 3 is aimed at 134 degrees. These are run as a directional scanner array with a manual voting system 6-position rotary selector. Also today on the transmit side, we'll be running our no SWR, specially oriented, resonant tuned dipole antenna. One leg of this resonant tuned dipole antenna runs broadside to Montreal, Canada. The other leg runs broadside to Miami, Florida. As we were constructing our station, our mantra was 20 over from Montreal to Miami with a hotspot through the Carolinas. We're running our input source indicator. So when we switch from an internet SDR receiver to our local receiver, you'll be able to hear the switch and see the switch. You'll have to check it out on our YouTube Qso-Vlog video. And as we come together for another Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network, let us pause just a moment for the amateur radio operator's prayer. Lord, we pray for clear 20 over S9 communications today. Let all our transmissions fill the air and reach their destinations QSA5 to be understood by all. And as we pray for good radio conditions, let us also pray for good human conditions. During this time of pandemic that has challenged us all, we pray that you'll protect everyone, especially our elderly. And also, Lord, we seek your divine intervention to bring peace to a very divided United States. As we go through a very conflicting time in America's history, with dark clouds all around, we pray that you'll reduce life's daily political QRM between our brothers and sisters. And through your love and guidance, show us the way to find peace and harmony. Help us to communicate with one another 20 over S9. Thank you, Lord, and God bless and protect America. Amen. To continue, since this part of the band has many nets trying to operate in a very confined area, I would appreciate all stations checking into our Qso-Vlog net to keep their band pass to no wider than 100 to 2900. And again, please, no wider than 100 to 2900. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network. And now let's check in and see if Charlie K1GZL is on frequency to bring us up to date on the latest 40-meter band propagation. Charlie's QTH is up north in northern New Hampshire, near the Canadian border. Charlie, got a copy?
Roger, Jim, I certainly do. There's a terrific amount of static, Queen Roger Nancy on frequency. But I am copying right now 100%, and you're running a 7 to a 9 direct, as I do not have the SDR capabilities. So back to you and see how you do copy KC9VKV, K1GZL, Clarksville, northern New Hampshire.
Roger, Roger, Charlie. I've got you 30 over on Milford. Roger, Roger.
Roger, I'm glad that we're getting into Milford today. I do have a recording I made about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago on 20 meters with BK3 X-ray yoke. He was located about 80 miles northeast of Melbourne, Australia, running a 3-element beam, but in this transmission, he does cut the power to 1 watt, and this is on 20 meters, and I'll try to play this and hope that my recording does not mess up. So this is Charlie, K1GZL, and here is BK3XXY, we hope. Right now.
XY. And yeah, I know you used to talk a lot to Ian there. It's a shame Ian's not around. I don't know where he is. He's usually lower down in the band. I've never heard him up this high on 20 meters. He's normally at 165 around there. You're doing a great signal. You're 5 at 9. You're doing pretty well. Yeah, I'm running also the 7300, and I'm running the Ameritron 811H with 4572B tubes in it, and it's running 400 watts, just the legal limit, and the antenna on the short path. And you're really coming through here good, Charlie, over.
Here we go to low power.
Yeah, this beam I built, it's a really good antenna. I made it out of scrap aluminum I had laying around the farm, and I see your antenna farm, and yeah, what a beautiful setup, all made by wood and timber, and it's an amazing job there. I've looked at that many times, especially when you were on 40 metres. You used to work here, and I haven't heard of you on 40. I don't know. I think he's got that big wire antenna on 40, and he's always a big signal out your way, but I haven't heard him on. I don't get on to 40 all that often, over.
Okay, I think it's in here, the power.
Yeah, Charlie, I could probably work you on 1-1. I could probably turn my amp off. I might try it. I might do an experiment. I might shut the amp down. I'll just put that into standby, and I'll see if I can. I'm actually running about 35 watts on the 7300. I'll see if I can work you on 35 watts, over. Okay, Golf 1, GZL, VK3XXY, running 10 watts, over. There you go, I've dropped it right down. I'll go down to a few watts there. Hang on, here we go. Okay, I'm now running 2 watts, over. Charlie, I'm very happy with it. Very happy with this antenna. It's not high up. It's only at 45 or 50 feet, but it's got nearly a 50-foot boom on it. It's got a big long boom, and it's made out of 2-inch. All the cross members, all the directors and reflectors, they're made out of 2-inch irrigation pipe, and the boom.
Okay, there we are, Jim. I didn't mean to make it quite that long. But anyway, there he was. And that's VK3 X-ray yoke about 10 days ago. And this, of course, is the 8th of September 2023. KC9VKV, K1GZL. How does that come through, Jim?
Roger, Charlie, great. I was just curious, did he say his legal max was 400 watts down there?
Well, their legal limit is 400. I'm sure they're running maybe 401 or something. You never know. But you see, their FCC is the post office. Their FCC is the post office down there. And all they allow the amateurs in Australia are 400 watts. Go ahead.
Roger. Well, they certainly do a good job coming back this way for sure at that power.
Oh, yeah. Did that come through all right? Could you catch it okay? My static level is getting worse. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. You're well above static. I'm in the static to you, but because I'm coming direct. But you are going through Pennsylvania SDR. You're about 35 over. Roger.
Okay, I missed that one. Your signal did drop a little bit direct. But did you copy it Q5? Could you copy it okay? Go ahead.
Roger, Charlie, Q5, A-OK, Roger.
Okay, I got it that time. You came back up. Boy, the static level is up to 1520 over 9. Really bad. I think we're going to get some nasty storms here. We had one last night, yesterday evening, about 6:20 our time, It produced 7/10 of an inch of rain, 7/10 of an inch, and about 4 miles south of here, they got nothing. Absolutely nothing, and down 10 miles south in Colebrook, nothing. But we were on the southern edge of that one, but a couple quick lightning strikes that were very close. I thought we were going to get hit, but we did not. Okay, Jim, look, I'll catch you next week. I'll catch you next week at the usual time, and we'll hope for less static. I think maybe by that time the pattern change is going to change, and it will be cooler. We had a couple warm days up here. Got up to about 85 degrees 2 days ago, 85 degrees. The normal high now is about 65, 66. That is normal, so we're way above normal. It's been a generally wet summer, and for most of the summer it's been a little cooler than normal, except back in late May and June. And 2 or 3 days ago, it was much, much warmer than normal. But during the middle of generally in the middle of the winter, it has been very pleasant, but a little more rain than normal. Southern New Hampshire is 100 miles or more south of here, had much more rain than we did. Much more rain, and they had a lot of flooding in parts of Vermont. But we missed a lot of that, Jim. Well, look, Jim, I'll catch you hopefully next week. And we hope that propagation will cooperate. KC9VKV in southern Indiana, but picked me up on the remote, I guess, in Milford, Pennsylvania. K1 George Zebra, London. Always a pleasure, Jim, and thank you so much for being there.
Roger, Charlie, 73 up that way, sir. It's such a pleasure having you to open our show and for Friday and let us know what's going on there. Those recordings really sound really good. So 73, and we'll see you next Friday. Have a good afternoon and a great weekend. And just a reminder, this is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog Network. My name is Jim, KC9VKV, better known in some circles as Dr. VKV. And we are recording now live till 5, so if you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout. We'll post this recording up on YouTube in the next couple of days. So when you go to YouTube, just do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. That's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook. And that'll take you to our YouTube Qso-Vlog page, where we're currently featuring over 2,700 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings. This recording will be cut number 1 in that series. So without further ado, let's open it up and see who's out there. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog Network. If you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout.
Roger, Jim. Call is Kilo Echo number 3, Hotel Juliet, King Edward III, Honolulu, Japan. Do you copy?
Roger, HJ, and what's the name there?
Roger, HJ, and what's the name there?
Our name here is Dave, Delta Alpha, Victor Echo, Delta Alpha Victor Echo. And you've helped me before, and I just wanted to jump in quickly and say that you've done such a good job. I'm running a slightly different setup here, and I wonder if you can hear me well enough to make any comments, Jim. Back to you. Over.
Roger, Dave, why don't you give me about 10 or 15 seconds and tell me about your antenna system, and let me look around and see if I can find a better path for us, Roger.
System, let me look around and see if I can find a better path for us, Roger.
Roger, Jim. Is 32-year-old Gap Challenger, vertical center fed dipole. Been my go-to antenna when I can't get up too many wires. It's served me well for all these years, so it's kind of been my backup, keep it in my back pocket, so to speak, antenna. See if maybe you found an SDR that brings me in a little bit better. I'm just running barefoot. Back to you, KC9VKV KE3HJ.
Roger. Dave, what's your location, sir?
Roger. Dave, what's your location, sir?
Yeah, Roger, Jim, located near Pittsburgh, PA. Pittsburgh, PA, just running barefoot, over.
Roger. Let me go to Milford, see if I've got you there. Come back and let me listen to you for a minute.
Okay, Jim, see if you can hear me a little bit better in Milford. I noticed the band is getting kind of noisy and your tempo is dropping down, so you may not be able to get a good copy of me, understandable. See if that helps me. Back to you.
Roger, Dave. I would have a perfect copy if I did not have, so much static. There's a tremendous amount of static in the air. Let me try. There's a SDR that's really hot up that way. Let me try. Let's see here. Go to. See if New Jersey does it. Sometimes New Jersey does really well. Let me try that. Oh, let me hear you now, sir.
Let me hear you now, sir.
Okay, Jim. See if New Jersey picks me up any better. I'm getting higher static here as well, so the band might be shifting out from under it. Don't know. But back to you, see if New Jersey did it. Over.
Roger, Dave. What radio are you running this afternoon?
Dave, what radio are you running this afternoon?
I'm running my 7300, ICOM 7300, Jim, and I don't have I'm not using the internal settings. I'm not using the EQ or the compression of 7300. I have an external equalizer and compressor that I'm using, and I've got it so that I can interface to many different radios. Not that I have too many, but I've got it so that I have some flexibility. Back to you.
Roger. Okay, the thing to do would be to just to double check your ALC to be sure you're at the best you can be. So that would be go to your ALC meter with mic gain in hand, and as you say the word audio, adjust your mic gain until you're 2/3 reading on your ALC meter.
And it's about, I'm going to say 2/3, 3/4.
Yes, sir. Well, you know, the word audio is such a perfect word to tune with. You can just hang on that word till you just nail that 2/3 reading on that ALC meter, and then you will be just max modulation. You go past 2/3 and you start to find yourself to be a little fuzzy. Roger.
Pretty good, Jim. What do you think? Over.
Sounds good to me. And the your EQ curve sounds good. It looks like you are about a 3 dB dynamic range, but there's so much lightning clashing that it's really hard to tell precisely what your modulation level is, because every bit of energy, if you look at it on a spectrum analyzer, it's looking at all the noise plus your voice. If you look at it on a VU meter, the VU meter is reflecting all the lightning strikes plus your voice. So it's really hard to tell because of propagation is so bad today. But it looks good from when the lightning noise is down. You look to have about a 2/3 reflection on your ALC and about a 3 dB dynamic range, which means that your average percent of peak modulation is between 80 and 85%. So I'd call it close enough. Get the Gorilla Tape and taper down, Roger.
Close enough. Get the Gorilla Tape and taper down, Roger.
Roger, Roger. Thank you very much. I'm using the UR6QW external equalizer box here with my 7300, and I got that so that I could move that to different radios and still have the benefit of its equalizer and compressor. So I'm running it with its DX setting right now since the signals are a little weak, and that, in addition to the normal compressor, puts a little bit of a limiter on it, but it's very experience has been that it's still fairly palatable. It tends to roll off below 200 hertz a bit compared to the normal sound. But it seems to meet the criteria that you're able to hear me. And if the signals were stronger, I would take off the DX setting. I get a little bit more low end and a little bit less, in fact, no limiting, just the compression. But thank you very much, Jim. I appreciate the D104, and I'm running with no equalization, zero equalization. It's all flat. So letting the D104 do the heavy lifting there. Back to you, KC9VKV, KV3.
Roger, Dave. Well, if you harness the glory of that D104, then that will be all the EQ that you would need, because it's rather a sharp EQ pattern because of the element, which gives you a heads-up boost on your equalization situation. So it sounds really good. I wish I had a better recording of you, but we're both victim of Mother Nature's propagation this afternoon, but you can hear some of it. And the thing is how well our radio sounds in adverse conditions, and this is certainly adverse conditions, and I'm copying you fairly well. So there you go. And if you would like, if you wanted to hear this recording, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for KC9VKV followed by the word logbook, that will take you to this recording, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. Roger, Roger.
And I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow.
There, and this is the original articulated mic for radio transmission. So it's in the 30s, so it's approaching 100 years old in its design. So it's kind of good to use it with a rig designed in the next century, and have it still meet its qualifications. I do have. I did replace the amplifier board at the bottom with a single FET impedance transformer so that it doesn't roll off the bottom end as much. And you won't hear that as much here on the DX setting where it does roll off, but if the conditions were better and I could switch it to normal, you'd hear that I think it still has a pretty decent bottom end. So very good, Jim. Thank you very much for your service. I appreciate the help that you give me. I'm happy to make it today and have your input. So 73, Jim, thanks very much. Carry on and good work. KC9, VKV, KC3, KCJ.
Roger, Dave, 73, sir. Thanks for dropping by, and maybe if you get a chance, drop by next Friday. We'll have better weather, better propagation, less lightning hits, and all that good stuff. 73, sir. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Kilo 8, Lima, Juliet.
Lima, Juliet, come back slowly, phonetically with your call sign.
Okay, well I did. Kilo 8, Lima, Juliet.
Roger, Lima, Juliet, I have you repeat your call sign because on these breaks, sometimes they're cattle calls, and there are many stations calling at once, and I like to start my edit, my separate breakouts with the call sign clearly, and that's why I have you repeat your call sign. Good afternoon, sir. The name is what?
Bob, Bravo, Oscar, Bravo.
Roger, Bob, and what location?
Granville, Ohio, which is just east of Columbus, right in the center of the state.
Roger, Bob, and what radio?
ICOM 7610.
Oh, great. One of my great radios. My preference is that radio, but it's a matter of economics. So I've got its small brother, the 7300. But, I'd like to hear that radio if you would tell me about 10 seconds worth of you talking about your antenna system, Roger.
Okay, signals are going up and down now. The band's a little unstable, but you got a good signal here, and I'm getting a little hoarse, which is not the radio's fault. I hope I'm not getting a cold or something here. Anyway, I have a 7302. That's the baby to this one here. And it's a great radio, but it doesn't have all the features of this, obviously. And interestingly enough, I'm using, not that it makes any difference, but I'm using the handheld mic from the 7300 on this radio, and this radio came with the same mic, but I never unboxed it. It's still in cellophane. Over.
Oh, yes, sir. Well, it's hard to beat that microphone. You'd have to spend a couple of $100 to actually beat that microphone. And the best way to use it is pull it to the corner of your lips and talk across it, as opposed to directly into it. That minimizes all of the mouth noises, Roger.
Okay, and you were hearing that on me?
Just a little bit of breath, but not badly. But I'm just saying the best way to work that microphone is to the corner of your lips as opposed to directly into it, because it is an electret microphone, and any electret microphone without a windscreen is susceptible to mouth noises, wind chirps, burps, and all that stuff.
Okay, well, I'm talking across it now. That doesn't help the harshness of my voice, because I don't know, something going on here. It's almost like I have a cold, but I don't.
You're looking good on my spectrum analyzer. You're all across the spectrum analyzer, so you are, have a nice curve, Roger.
Yeah, QSL, and the bandwidth is okay?
Yes, sir. And let's see, you have a button on your radio called Quick. Is that a Roger?
On the radio called Quick?
Yes, sure. On your 7610, there's a button on the front called Quick, which takes you to drive.
Button called Quick. I don't know where the heck that is.
Look in the center of your radio. The center of your radio is a button called Quick.
Well, I don't have enough backlight here at the moment to even see something. You're talking over on the right side?
More towards the middle. It's a button that takes you to drive.
Well, you're talking about a hard button or a soft button on the screen?
I believe it's a hard button. I've not really seen it. I've just read about it, but it takes you to drive, and I'm just curious what your drive level is. Usually they come stock at 50, and I usually recommend going to 65.
Okay, well, I can't... Yeah, where's a little flashlight when I need it? Because I don't have enough light here right now to... Oh, well. Let me try this. And, okay. Well, I don't see that button there unless there's something, critically wrong here. I can't hang around anyway, so I appreciate the info you gave there, and have a good evening. And now I got to remember your call, which is another oh, boy. As you can see, I wasn't really set up here to do this. I just did call you because you were looking for additional check-ins there, and I just passed them through the frequencies. So anyway, thanks for the info, and we'll try another time when I got more time here and a little bit more organized. So KC9VKV, I think I remember that. This is K8 Lima Juliet 73. Thanks.
Roger, Bob. Well, you can just take a note if you have paper and pencil there to when you find that quick button, punch it up there. It takes you to drive, and you want it to be like at 65 on your drive level. Like I said, I think it comes stock at 50, but 65 gives you just a little more audio punch. And you have a beautiful audio curve. And if you want to hear that, if you go to YouTube, do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. It'll take you to this recording, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. So, 73 Bob, we'll catch you later. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout. And at the moment, things look a little slow, so time now for another thrilling edition of Adventures in Radioland. This segment, A Kinder World. My aim with the Qso-Vlog network is to be a stabilizing force in a sea of uncertainty. My goal is to replace apprehension with knowledge, because it truly is a kinder world, but it requires your input like any well-working relationship. I can supply the basic setup knowledge, but the more you know specifically about where things are on your radio, the easier things become. And while a lot of modern-day radios can be a maze of menus, well, together we can work through them, and if you just know a few things about your radio. First, your TBW settings. TBW stands for Transmit Bandwidth. Your transmit bandwidth, or TBW, determines how wide your transmitted signal is. We recommend a 100 to 2900 TBW setting. This setting is usually referred to as wide and is located in your settings menu area. It allows your radio to operate at its best capacity with just a slice of daylight between your signal and your neighbor's signal 3 kilohertz beside you. The next two items are one and the same. That's your processor or compressor. They're both the same thing, but yes, Yaesu calls it your processor and ICOM calls it your compressor. Whatever the name, the function is the same. It attempts to smash your audio's dynamic range down to a flatter signal, but fatter. We recommend a light touch of 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100, depending on how your compressor processor input control is labeled. We're looking for just a third of its capabilities. Next would be your ALC meter adjustment. ALC stands for your automatic level control. This basically a transmitter audio limiter device designed to keep you from splattering into your neighbor's signal and have them come looking for you with pitchforks. Your ALC meter reading is determined by adjusting your mic gain control. We suggest a 2/3 reading on your ALC meter by saying the word audio, stretching out the ah part where you become a human test tone generator, and adjust your mic gain until your ALC meter reads 2/3. The next part of our setup is your equalizer or tone control. These two items are the same again, just referred to differently differently by the manufacturers. We want to set up your equalization curve to achieve a high degree of articulation. Most of your voice articulation range resides in the treble areas of your equalization control. So as you can see, I have a basic generic setup procedure. It is sequential in nature and first things first plan of attack, designed to work well with all radios. Some radios have more adjustments than others, some have less. We do the best we can with what your radio has. You just have to know how to get there. So get your book out or Google it, become familiar with your radio. The more you know about how to get to certain areas, the easier and faster things go. So just relax and replace your apprehension with knowledge, because it truly is a kinder world. This has been another thrilling edition of Adventures in Radioland. This segment, A Kinder World. Well, there you go. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. Again, if you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Again, if you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
I hear somebody back there trying to give me a shout. Station calling. Why don't you tell me in 10 seconds or so about your antenna system? Let me look around and see if I can find a better path for us, Roger.
A better path for us, Roger.
Yeah, I've went around the horn there, and I've got a copy on nobody. So a station that was calling, try one more time, please, sir.
Calling, try one more time, please, sir.
There's a lot of static this afternoon on the band, but we'll do the best we can. This is KC9VKV, Friday afternoon, Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout. Well, nothing heard. Continuing on, this is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. And time for another thrilling edition of Adventures in Radioland. This segment, Thinking Outside the Box. From time to time, I mention the fact that the actual heart of one's Radio Shack is the audio monitoring system. It is the incoming half of your QSOR contest. It makes possible the voice of your friends or your contacts around the world. It is that critical necessity for making two-way communications possible. And let's face it, audio reality does not reside with a 1-inch speaker inside a very small box. That is your transceiver. There's just not enough cubes. This is the major downfall of all high-frequency transceivers. It is the number one major shortcoming filter of your HF receiver. You can't really talk about EQ curves or audio balance until you have an audio system that can truly reproduce the range of audio frequencies that's involved. So you need to think outside that small box. And the box I'm talking about is your transceiver. Get your audio out of that box and plug into reality. Plug into your radio speaker out with a nice full-range house monitor system, because you deserve to hear what's really going on. And I don't mean a pair of $15 computer speakers, which I guess would be better than your radio speakers, but for under $60 at Walmart, you can get a nice full-range Logitech speaker system. And check out their Logitech speaker system with subwoofer. Now, you don't need a Bose, but you do need to get something that will reproduce the bottom end correctly, down to at least 100 hertz or so. And the speaker system with subwoofer can easily do that, and for under $60. Here you spend thousands of dollars for a really great radio. You deserve to get the most out of it. You know, since I've been evaluating radios for closely on the Qso-Vlog net for some time, I've noticed more and more radios with much fatter, flatter audio curves on my spectrum analyzer. Transmit audio curves that do go down to 100 hertz or so. But a word of caution, if your transmit audio content does go down to 100 hertz, you must make sure that the rest of your audio curve, particularly the upper end, has plenty of content for balance, otherwise you'll sound muddy. So step your radio up to a great monitor system by dropping by Walmart and picking up one of those great Logitech subwoofer speakers systems for under $60. You won't believe what a difference it makes to be able to hear what's really going on. And for under $60, the price is right. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network, and we are recording live till 5, so if you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Jim. This is Whiskey 4 Victor Tango. I hear you out there, my friend, but I don't know. Maybe propagation from you out here to me right at the moment is just not at its very strongest. But if you do hear me, man, I'd just love to give a shout out to you there, KC9VKV. Been a long time. I'm going to be going barefoot from now on. Just had to sell the amplifiers for expense reasons, financial obligations in other areas for right now. But we're working a 200-watt Yaesu FTDX 5000 MP with the high-O microphone and inverted D-dipole. And I don't know if you hear me, but just want to say hello out there to my buddy Jim.
Roger, Eric. I copy you loud and clear on Milford, PA, SDR. Looks to be about 20 over. This is a bad day for propagation, but I copy you, like I say, 20 over on Milford. I tried my local antenna, and it was a lot noisier than that, so I do have a good copy on Milford. So you got to sell your amp. That's terrible. You were just getting up there kind of towards legal limit, Roger. Eric, do you have a copy there? This is KC9VKV.
My ears are good today, man. My receive on this end, it's not, I know it isn't your setup. It's definitely not your setup. Your setup's amazingly awesome. But I don't know. I mean, maybe what I need to do is on my desktop right here across from me, the next time I'll set it up so that, I can check some different SDR locations there and listen to you through there when the signal propagation isn't that strong coming in, if you see what I'm saying.
Roger, Eric. I'm sorry that we're not making it good today. This is not a good propagation day. It's real heavy lightning QRM. Unfortunately, and it's been that way all afternoon long. But like I say, I do have a good copy on you using the PA SDR. Roger. I tell you, Eric, if you can copy me at all, if you wanted to, you could check out the a Kentucky SDR there, the Lexington, Kentucky SDR. That's about 80 miles away. We're making a good trip to there. I use that to listen a lot. But anyway, if not, then we'll just say three's up there. Oi, Eric, I understand the QRM is pretty bad today.
The QRM is pretty bad today.
'73 up there, Eric. Good to hear you, buddy. I'm sorry you can't hear me, but that's life, as Sinatra would say. I guess that was Sinatra. Anyway, this is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout. Here's somebody down in, actually up in Virginia, on my Virginia SDR. This is KC9VKV. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout. Here's somebody way back in the air on my local antenna. Copy some station way back in there in my local antenna. This is KC9VKV. Try again, sir, slowly, phonetically with your call sign. I copied Whiskey 4, Golf, Mike Golf. Is that a Roger? Okay, that way I heard it. Bravo was the last phonetic. I'll tell you what, sir, if you can, why don't you give me your location, and I'll see if I can find you on my Hocus Pocus SDR receiver.
I'm in southern Illinois,
Give me that location again. Come up on that mic and give me your location one more time.
Southern Illinois, near St. Louis, Missouri.
New Jersey, is that a Roger?
No, southern Illinois.
Gosh, you're just right under my copy level. You're about a half dB over my noise level, and I'm trying to pull you out, sir.
Says Southern Illinois.
I copied somebody there saying Southern Illinois. Was that a relay, or was that the station I'm looking for?
Somebody there saying Southern Illinois. Was that a relay, or was that the station I'm looking for?
It was a relay, W450KG. I'm not 100% sure he said that, but I think he said he was in Southern Illinois.
I've got a SDR up around Illinois, I do believe. Let me get over there and see what I can do. It's my SDR receiver. I've got 50 presets, 20 states, about 3 per state, or 50 and 3 per state. Let me just see here. Let's try to find. Come on, baby, come on. Anyway, not finding anything right at the moment that would help us. Probably need something in the middle of the state, more towards. We tried, just out of curiosity, this one, see what we do. This is KC9VKV, the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. Station calling, come back and try it one more time.
Try it one more time.
Yeah, I'm sorry, station. You're just, like I say, you're just right at my noise level. You're actually under my noise levels a lot of times. So let me say 373 for right now, and we'll try later if the conditions get better. If not, maybe we can try it Friday afternoon. Roger, Roger?
KC9VKV, KV9IPT.
Was that ICT? Come back slowly phonetically with your call sign.
Kilo Bravo 9, India Papa Tango.
IPT, Roger, Roger. And what's the name there?
The name is Lou, Lima Oscar Uniform.
Roger, Lou. And what's your location?
Northwest Indiana, St. John, Indiana.
That could be why I have a good copy on your Indiana antenna. And Lou, what radio are you running at the moment?
Okay. Well, that's why I was calling. I just got it back. I'm running on ICOM, a 7410.
7410?
Yes, sir. ICOM 7410.
Roger, Roger. Just out of curiosity, why don't you give me about 10 seconds, tell me about your antenna system. Let me look around and see if I can find a better copy for us.
Okay, well, the antenna...
Center-fed
446 feet of wire. Or I'm sorry, 246 foot. 123 on each side. And it's hung up about 40 feet in the air through trees and that. So, seems to be working. Boy, I'll tell you what, you got a signal here about 20 over 9.
about 20 over 9.
Yes, sir. I just went around. I've got a SDR over in Lexington, Kentucky. I just pulled up. You sound pretty good. I'm kind of torn between a local antenna and the Lexington SDR. Roger.
Roger. Roger. No, I'm getting out. I just had that repaired. I had to go pick it up in Michigan, in St. John. There's a gentleman that repairs ICOM. Good job. Sounds good. Good hearing you, sir. I didn't get the name there. Go ahead.
Roger, name is Jim, Juliet, India, Mike, and we're located just across the street from Louisville, Kentucky. We're on the Indiana side of the Ohio River, right at Louisville. Roger?
Oh, roger that, yeah. Wow. Louisville. I spent, when I was in the service, I got drafted. That's where I took my basic.
Yes, sir. Well, that's when Fort Knox used to have money back there, and they had all these tanks guarding the money. Now they just have this one broken down tank on a pedestal as you drive in through the area. Roger?
Roger that. Oh, I got to tell you a quick story real quick. When I was taking basic training, I got a cab, and I says, take me to Gold Vault Road. I want to see the Gold Vault. And I was in uniform, and I got out there. I'm looking around. The guy goes, well, I can't use the terminology, but like, what the heck are you doing here? And I said, I just wanted to see the Gold Vault. And he says, well, you know what? I'll never forget that.
Roger, Roger. Well, that was, like I say, that was at a time when we had a gold standard for our money. Our money was backed up by gold bars. Now it's backed up by 10, I think. Roger?
KV9. You're right. I remember. Well, payable to the bearer in gold. Then later on, they got rid of the gold. in pairs that bear upon silver. And now I don't know what metal is going to be it's going to be bearable to, but it sure won't be silver and gold.
No, like I say, it's 10. It's 10, and Japan is holding it in a trust for us.
Japan. Oh, that's interesting. That is interesting. Yeah, I hear that. I keep hearing that on the radio that we're going to go to what do they call it? Metal standard, or I forgot what they call it. But it's not going to be our dollar or anything like that. And I just don't like that idea.
Yeah, Roger. Well, I really liked it. When we did have gold to back up our money, it was a good idea, and it was kept us from, I think, going broke and spending more than we had, because we had to back up our money through actual physical gold, and now I think they just back it up by printing more money. It's really weird how they can just say, oh, well, we need a couple of $1 trillion more to balance out, so just go ahead and work all night and print up $1 trillion.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's the way it seems to be. They print the money, and it's not backed up. Well, I'm retired. I don't know about you if you're still working. You're perhaps retired. And, I've been retired for about 20 years now. And I tell you what, the world's really changing.
Oh, that's a Roger. Now, what is the city that you're located in, Lou? Just out of curiosity, since we're in the locale together, I'm just wondering where you are specifically, kind of.
Indiana, Northwest Indiana, St.
I could copy Indiana. I couldn't copy the other part. I was just curious. If you were, how many miles you were from me, because we're obviously in, not the best propagation situation. And today it's not a good propagation day anyway, but, Indiana isn't that big a state, and, it's just curious what the propagation situation was, Roger.
I'll amplify my voice. St. John, Indiana. And man, I'll tell you what, you're full of quieting. It's like you're in the room next to me.
Roger, Lou. I went to my, I'm not sure what receiver it is, but it's in my Hocus Pocus receiver, and you're about 15 over there, so maybe I'll just pick you up there. And why don't you tell me in about 15 seconds or so the best thing you like about your 7410, Roger?
About your 7410, Roger.
Okay, well, I got this because a friend of mine bought one, and he told me that this was a precursor to the ICOM 7300, but it was on sale at the time from HRO. So I saved some money, and that's why I purchased it. It only has 55 knobs on it, or what, and buttons.
Roger. Well, today's standard is not how many knobs you have, but how deep your menu is, Roger.
Deep your menu is, Roger.
Well, I tell you what, it's got a long menu, too. About 150 items. Yeah. I just stay on, I love staying on certain frequencies, and I don't use all these knobs. And of course, I don't know about you, but Being a ham, I never read the instruction manual. I just fire it up and find out for myself.
Well, Roger, you have to have an incentive to read the book. And if something's not working right, you're madly in the book trying to figure out what it is. But other than that, if everything is kosher, sail on, silver moon. Just don't worry about it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, Roger.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it, Roger.
Yes, sir. Roger that. Yep. I'm not touching it. It seems to be working fine.
To you and boy, you're full fighting. I couldn't believe that. I know earlier you couldn't hear a gentleman. I couldn't hear him either. But you're coming loud and clear. Well, listen, I'm going to sign off. The news is going to be on. I got to see what's happening here in Indiana. But good hearing you, and can I get you on the same frequency and time tomorrow? I'm just curious. So, well, let me say 73 KC9VKV 73 KB9IPT. I'll listen out.
Roger, Lou. Let me make sure I got the call sign right here. KB9IPT, is that a Roger?
Yes, sir. It's party time.
That sounds good to me. Yeah, we're only on Friday afternoons from 3:30 till 5. It is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net where we assist people setting up their transmitters, and then we're recording all the time. So, and just this last piece, I've been on my local 7300 antenna, and you've been about 10 or 15 over. So if you want to hear your fine radio, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for KC9VKV followed by the word logbook, that will take you to our Qso-Vlog page, where we're currently featuring over 2,700 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. Roger.
Roger. Got it. Oh, very good. Oh, you got the 7300, huh? Okay. You got the upgrade from my 7410. Okay. Good hearing you, sir. Catch you next Friday, perhaps. 73 KB9IPT.
Roger, Lou, 73, sir. Have a great afternoon. Beautiful weekend. If you get a chance, join us next Friday. Well, I see by the clock on the wall a dead fly. Ooh. So we got to get out of here. Since 3:30 we've been recording live, and if you've participated and want to hear what your radio sounds like, just go to YouTube and do a call letter search for KC9VKV followed by the word logbook. That's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor followed by the word logbook, and that'll take you to our YouTube Qso-Vlog page, where we're currently featuring over 2,700 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings. This will be cut number 1 in that series, and we'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow. And just a reminder, we run the Qso-Vlog net each Friday afternoon from 3:30 till 5 Eastern on this frequency, 7188. So here's a big thanks to all who participated, and we'll see you next Friday afternoon at 3:30 Eastern. This is KC9VKV, and we now return this frequency back to normal amateur radio use. KC9VKV, clear.